Well, hello, gang. We're doing something a bit different. Can you see what the difference is? Yeah, it's more different than you quite realize. My baby girl, Olivia, I thought, it might be a good idea to have somebody else in our videos that is kind of a third person, like a girl on the street. So I thought I'd have Olivia, and I was very comfortable with that idea. And then we decided to record this thing at about 4 o'clock. And I'm on the computer at 4 o'clock, and I get a message, I'll be 5 minutes. And I'm thinking, Jiminy Crickets, how could you be 5 minutes? Well, I find out a little later that what she was doing was putting makeup on. So if you look at the two of us, I know I'm 100 years older, but still, that makeup, Olivia, it makes quite the difference.
Mm. Oh, I don't think it's the makeup, I think it's the hair.
Oh, that is so dirty. That is so dirty. It might be the hair, actually. So today, Olivia, I wanted to build upon our last conversation where we talked about company balance sheets and profits and losses and cash flows. And I wanted to go to answer more about our model, how we do that to mitigate risk. But I thought before we turn that page, I wanted you to ask me a few girl on the street questions where I may be able to add some perspective to our conversation.
Okay. I guess one question that I have is lately when I've been talking to you, you've been talking about how it's such a great time for JCN. And I also at the same time get all these alerts all day on my phone about how horrible the market is. So I guess could you explain a little bit about how this is such a great time for JCN given the current market conditions?
Oh man, that's why it is our time. Absolutely, unequivocally. The more bad news out there, the more harem, scarum stuff out there, the better we're served. I got into this business 23 years ago to help people have a life that otherwise wouldn't have. So, because of the way we're set up here at JCN, the way we're managing money, we've got a lot of good news to share with clients that right now they are going to be more willing to listen to me and you, Olivia, than any other time. When things are great, I don't find people are terribly interested in what we're doing. But when things are tough, they want to find out what we're doing to put them in a better position. So it gives us a better audience, a more attentive audience, and it gives us the ability. This is where if we can help somebody have a better Saturday afternoon through their understanding of what we're doing. Do you see how we're winning?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That's the ticket.
Okay. Um, so with it being so volatile that the market is today, why is it not better to just be out of it completely and to avoid the up and downs?
Well, that's a very, very good question. And the truth of the matter is, to time the market perfectly or exactly or close enough to be really good is between hard to do and impossible. There are some better ways to manage risk than simply getting out the market. There are investments that can actually benefit from these bad times. So having a strategy that can take advantage of what's been given us is a much better tool than just putting our money in a basket and hiding. That makes sense?
Yeah. Okay. So is there a way that clients to take advantage of the current market conditions that we have right now?
Well, I tell you what, recently we bought Tesla for 50 cents on the dollar. Does that sound like a good deal to you?
Yeah.
I think that's a very, very good long-term deal. We bought another couple of positions here recently. Axon was one we bought at a real discounted price. So that's one way we can do that. And the other, when we get to our strategy, our survival strategy, mitigate some of these risks we're taking and puts us in a position to come out much better, much further ahead.
In times where everyone is so fearful, what is something that we're doing at JCN to help with that fear?
I think the only thing to really mitigate that fear, Olivia, is to understand where it comes from. And people are afraid because they don't understand what's happening. They just see this fast movement downward and they have no idea where it's going to end. So, in the 23 years I've done this, I've learned education is the key. These videos we're doing are part of that. And as we meet with people one on one, we do that. But the bottom line is to have an education about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and why that puts everybody we work for in a better position. See, I work for this position, this market. I spent my entire career working for these markets. Anybody can hit the bull market, but knowing how to get through a bear market, not just get through it, but have your clientele not wringing their hands. That's what that to your dad. That's what is successful.
Yeah, that sounds like a success to me. Could we take a look at some examples to show what we're
So,
take a look
Olivia,
at? Yeah.
let's take a look at our model because we talked about that extensively last week with client on the video. I want people to get understanding how this model works. Okay, Olivia, before I start spewing off information, as you look at this chart, what questions or what observations, what comments do you have about what you're looking at here?
I guess my only question would be if you could explain the difference between the risk in the SPY versus the Model 3. It looks like a pretty big difference to me.
Yeah, and that's on purpose. We did that. JCN did that. So all risk is not the same. The market has a risk of 17.4, and our Model 3 here has estimated annual deviation or risk of 6.92. So it's about close to a third, maybe 40% the risk of the market. And and that's something we did through our structure of the model here.
So is that because do you get that low number because you have 30% of the portfolio into equities in the equities?
Well, it's because of everything. So the reason it's lower is if you take a look at the model, 30% is in equities, stocks. And so those have the full risk in the market. We have some very valuable companies in that percentage there. But on the other tier there, we have structured notes, which are bank notes that come with some guarantees. And the premium guarantee that I get from the banks are that my client will get their money back at the end of the note. JP Morgan is one of the big banks we bought from. So if you go through a time period where the market is in a terrible spot and you had a structured note that matures, you get all of your money back. Can you see how that's a decided advantage?
That sounds pretty safe to me.
And that wipes a lot of risk out. Now, what you need to, as a client, what I want you to understand with a structured note is that it will be volatile during the course of you hold the note 2 or 3 year period of time. But on your statement, you've got a phrase here that says intrinsic value 100%, meaning that if you hold it till the duration of the note, it's worth 100% of what you put into it. So you can't lose money with it. The other thing we use instead of bonds is a buff D. So these are buffered ETFs, and the way they work is in very, very simple language is between a certain range, you're buffered out from the market. In our case, between -5 and -30, we have no loss in the marketplace. So if the market went down by 5%, the buff D would go down by 5. But beyond 5, between 5 and 30, there is no loss. So although it's not 100% guaranteed, it covers a good bit of your risk area. And the third thing is just a good fixed index annuity by a company out of North Carolina that has some features I like a lot about it. And one is that the participation rate, how much it earns 140% of the market, 140 of the market with no cap on there. And it's guaranteed by the insurance company. You can't lose money with it. So those four elements together, Olivia, give us a portfolio that not only minimizes risk, but we've had real good returns over the time frame we've been doing this. And so as a consumer, as a client, the more you understand that, the better you would feel. I mean, in a given day, if the market goes down, say for time frame, if the market goes down by 30%, we're not going to be down near that amount. And we're going to be in positions that are designed to recover when the market recovers. So, Olivia, one reason you don't want to be out of the market is you don't just miss the bad days, you miss the good days. Today was
Mhm.
a good day. And it exemplifies how some of the stocks did that we bought. I had a client come in today. It was a tremendous comfort to me. He's a new client. He's 73 years of age, just invested money for the first time in his life, very nervous. So I explained to him, I showed him some of the stocks we own and the companies and the earnings they have and the profits they have, the retained earnings and their sales and how they progressed over the years. And I said, well, does that give you any different perspective? You know what he said?
What?
He said, John, I don't know if I'll be able to explain that well, but let me try. What you're telling me is I need to quit thinking about owning stock and instead think about owning a company. And that the companies I own have good profits, good sales, good retained earnings. The stock price may not be up every day, every month, every year, but I'm not buying the stock price, I'm buying the company. And therefore I should do well. I was very pleased with that.
Yeah, sounds like he gets it.
He does get it in a short time frame. So hopefully the viewers here can catch on as well. If you look at the way some of our positions performed today, we had Palantir made 19% today, and we had several others that were close to 19%. Shopify was 18.5, Trade Desk was 19.55, Nvidia 18.72, Microsoft 16. That these are our growth stocks, our value stocks weren't as high of earners, although I had some big ones. Tesla, we bought Tesla at 50% off. It made 22% today. Broadcom made 18. So I don't expect Olivia tomorrow to be the same as today. I expect until this tariff thing is resolved, we're going to have a very volatile market. But we're going to use our heads and do what we can every day to put our clients in a better position. And what I hope I hear from people that watch these videos is, John, this does give me a better understanding. And that's all I'm trying to do.
I think it provides an understanding to where all that we hear right now is just negative in the market and the news. Hearing it this way and seeing the facts behind the case and seeing it's not, this isn't 100% of your money in the market, and seeing these different companies and why we invest in them, I think it's a big peace of mind.
You look at the world's best investors, Warren Buffett, the wealthiest investor ever, isn't worried a bit about this. Bill Ackman, Pershing Square, not worried a bit about this. None of the big hedge fund managers are very worried about it, but they understand more than the public understands. And I hope our clients can gather more. We're going to do another video here in a few days' time. We're going to show more positions we own and how those balance sheets and profit and losses look. And I'm gonna call this to an end. I don't know, look on the screen. I see you there, baby. You're running around. Maybe. I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe I might need to do some kind of head makeup or makeup of some type because I'm shiny. See how shiny I am right here? And I don't want to be shiny. And I see the hair thing too, but I think hair is overrated. You can swim faster if you're bald. Do you know that? I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. You're going to see my baby-girl more on these videos because she's going to help be our client's perspective. And please give us a shout out. Tell us what you think. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care, John.
Bye bye.